Hey, Goliath, ladies and gents, Pitty Swordmaster here, and welcome to another episode of Pitty and Pals React to Death Battle. This time, we'll be looking at Marvel's Incredible Hulk versus Toho's Godzilla. But before we get into the episode, I'm going to briefly go into my thoughts on the matchup itself. Hey kids, Bill here is raring to hear about how I think this next matchup is as much fun as sticking your willy in a blender. Are you holding your applause? So yeah, if my godly comedy routine didn't give it away, I don't like Hulk vs. Godzilla. But why is that, you might be wondering? I don't know, this might be tricky to figure out. Yes, viewers, the size disparity alone is enough to completely kill this matchup for me. And I know a good chunk of you are probably expecting me to say it's because Godzilla is too big for the Hulk, but no. My problem is that the Hulk is too small for Godzilla. Swatting a fly is not exactly something known for being very varied in terms of actions or cool ways to execute it, and for a character whose entire design is about being a walking disaster to trample cities and fights giant monsters, that becomes especially apparent when you put him against an opponent the size of his toenail. Plainly put, I do not see any ways this fight can play out that aren't just Godzilla being treated like a stage hazard for the Hulk to smack at. In the same way you wouldn't get a very fun fight watching a boxer swing at someone half their size, Godzilla's ferocious fighting style of tearing into foes or blasting them away with its atomic breath isn't going to make for fun fight choreography against a foe that he can literally step on. This in turn brings up a huge problem I have with matchups with a David vs. Goliath style dynamic. The entire point of fights like, well, David vs. Goliath, is that it's narratively satisfying to watch the literal little guy defeat such a massive foe. Just look at the amount of video games that use that as the basis for a boss fight. But that also makes for very one-sided dynamics. Not so bad in a story where we're meant to root for the David. Quite a problem when David and Goliath are supposed to get equal billing. Godzilla being portrayed like a stage hazard or a giant monster for Hulk to throw down, which just feels kind of insulting to Godzilla, like he's not even an equal combatant in the discussion, and framing him like a boss fight is not much better. Because fun fact, most boss fights aren't made for the sanctity of the boss. I won't deny that there are cool interactions on both ends you can do, like playing with more hellish or esoteric visuals, but here's the thing. You can have all these cool scenes and set pieces, but if the string that leads from one of them to the next is faulty, then the entire thing just falls apart. David vs. Goliath style matchups can work, but when I think back on ones I actually do enjoy, the only ones that come to mind are matchups that ignore or work around it rather than try to play into it. I enjoy Frieza vs. Megatron and Simon vs. Kyle, but the difference there is that Frieza and Megatron's focuses being on flying around, shooting energy beams, and making big kabooms meant that Megatron being so much taller was virtually irrelevant. And for Simon vs. Kyle, the fact that Kyle's main tool for offense and defense are constructs on the same scale as the Gurren Lagann meant that Simon had just as big a target to aim for as Kyle. Hulk and Godzilla's fighting styles are affected by size, and unless you stretch the hell out of Hulk's ability to grow in size, Godzilla is never going to have an equivalent target. So I think the fight is a poor representation of Godzilla and feels way too tailored for the Hulk. I could just stop it at that, but there is one other aspect that I want to touch on, less to do with the core idea itself and more an elephant in the room with how the matchup is often handled and the episode is likely to follow suit on. So, let's talk about compositing. I swear I have an actual point to make here. For those of you less versus brainrot than me, compositing in the context of a versus match is essentially the act of compiling every iteration and interpretation of a character into one form with everything from those iterations carried over. When most people hear of composites, they think of literally everything across a character's history, including crossovers and such, but no, I'm not referring to the type of composite that gives Mario an Arceus or Aang a semi-automatic. I'm more so referring to iterations within the character's one franchise, usually in long-running series like... take a guess. In the versus community, compositing characters for matchups is controversial, to put it lightly. Some are fine with it, others think it's an egregious misrepresentation of a character that just turns them into a complete homunculus. Personally, I think compositing is not only fine in most cases, but really overhated. In my opinion, if the character is the same in spirit across different iterations, then they're the same character. Simple as that. There's a difference between compositing versions of Megatron that range from a well-intentioned extremist to Space Hitler, and compositing versions of Leonardo who follow the same ground rules across every version with only the odd tweak that doesn't fundamentally change who he is. Godzilla for the most part is in a similar boat to the latter. If the iteration is a radioactive lizard that's a metaphor for the nukes dropped on Japan that rampages through a city and fights monsters, then that's Godzilla. Plain and simple. But there's one version that throws a massive wrench into the discussion. This chunky fuck. From Godzilla's singular point, Godzilla Ultima. Ultima clings to the discussion of this matchup in the same way a flea clings to a dog. It's the strongest version of Godzilla and the one that, let's be frank, is the main reason people don't immediately conclude Hulk smacks the lizard around like a ragdoll. Just from that alone, it's pretty clear that Ultima is going to get discussed in the episode, and I don't really fuck with that. I don't think Ultima is an invalid take on Godzilla as a concept at all. A more unique variation of the walking disaster that's more about theoretical physics than any kind of nuclear subtext is a novel concept, but Ultima is so far removed from what any usual version of Godzilla is like that centering such a big part of the discussion around it just kind of makes the fight not feel like Godzilla anymore. You can tell me all you want that Ultima justifies a canon composite because all other Godzillas are his avatars or whatever, which only applies to Singular Point Godzilla, by the way. But if I seriously wanted a matchup that focuses on what Ultima brings to the table, I just ask for an Ultima matchup. It's that distinct from what Godzilla is usually about. I don't hold Ultima's inclusion against the matchup conceptually, and I'll wait to see how the episode handles it before I fully judge, but it's just another way that I feel like I'm not going to get the kind of fight I would want from Godzilla in this episode. My expectations are incredibly low for this episode, but I am open to being proven wrong on all of these by this episode. Nay, I'd applaud them if they could prove me wrong. I'm not going into this episode wanting it to be bad. I just have a lot of concerns, and I hope I got that across without making it sound guilt-trippy towards those that do like it. I know there are Godzilla fans that enjoy this matchup, and if you do, then hey, good for you. Godzilla is just simply where the bulk of my issues with this matchup come from, so let's hope they can give me something that'll prove me wrong. For this video, I got some of my friends to sit down and watch the episode with me. Will we come out seeing -1 Hulk, or will Godzilla be subjected to a savage beatdown? Let's find out!
Kill John!
Good intro.
Oh, that's a really nice bleep we're gonna put at the intro of the video, don't you think?
True.
Just put a long censor over all of that.
No, just overlaid over Locust speech.
Yeah. God.
If you want to understand, if you want to understand why the rest of these fun people, fun dumbasses I call friends, please watch the Among Us videos on the Pit the Swordmaster YouTube channel.
Oh my god.
If the Among Us video gets to 300 subscribers, Pit's gonna host a live stream where I can get to say what I want.
Wait, what do you mean 300 subscribers? How do you subscribe to a video?
Send this video to PewDiePie with no context.
Very carefully.
I can't wait to edit in us fucking around before the episode starts. I wonder what shenanigans they're gonna get up to. Oh.
I have a good shenanigan you can put. Editor still plays Play-Doh in the fucking background.
True.
Play-Doh.
Editor,
You wanna
can you
mess
place
with
like
my-
20 Godzilla Ultimas on screen right now? Takes me.
No. Play-Doh's an overdone bit. Editor, put a PNG of Diogenes.
True.
Editor, put an image of your asshole.
Well, if you insist.
crazy. I love talking about the editor like he's an omnipotent being when it's just Fit the Swordmaster.
Yeah. The editor. The editor still Pit.
Yeah, I can't wait for the versus battle wiki
True.
page.
Oh, well,
it's over. Okay. Come on, guys.
What's over?
Hulk
Go home.
versus
We're done.
Godzilla. Marvel's Green Goliath
Hi, Sheila.
against the king of the monsters. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
This just looks like the most generic Godzilla animation of all time.
Oppenheimer.
This entire episode would give Oppenheimer a
Is he
fucking
man?
nightmare.
Around the test
God,
site,
I see this
Hammond
cartoon and all I can
that
think of is the
day,
fucking
Bruce
solid
Banner died
JJ.
and
Like, it
became
depends on the writer.
incredible Hulk.
It depends on the writer.
Giant who must be really glad Bruce
My
was able
Lord.
to stretch fit.
Standing
There's
8
the
feet
back-
tall and
Lord.
stronger than 10 million men,
No, put that in the
Hulk
video.
emerges when Banner's anger flares.
Like Joe Fix-It, the original
because
Grey
Godzilla
Hulk.
was bomb
He's a
20.
cunning
bomb.
gangster and the
Jonathan
only Hulk who's
Fix-It.
got that drip.
The Devil Hulk is a violent,
my
overprotective
guy.
personality that Banner
That's the guy.
unintentionally manifested
My
as
guy
a
is
result of
coming
his
up.
father's abuse.
George,
Godzilla,
that's your guy?
it's me,
That's your
the
guy?
devil,
Hulk
you
every
know,
That's my
from
guy.
Marvel
Banner is
Comics.
known as Savage Hulk. Occasionally, they can come to an
Depends on the
understanding.
writer.
The ultra best
Depends on
representative
the
would
writer.
be the Professor Hulk,
Yeah,
a balanced
right.
blend of Banner's
We're
brain
saying
and
that a
the
lot this
Hulk's
episode, aren't we?
What do you get?
Bruce.
green
And it's
skull.
Bruce.
World Breaker.
With
Just
the
specifically
Hulk's temperament,
Bruce.
the Hulk's power and fury
Bruce.
surges.
And shake all the dimensions
there it
connected
is.
by the
All the
crossroads at
dimensions.
once. He was pinned
Oh,
down by the
where's
spear
Baron
of
Mordo when you need
Proxima
him?
Midnight, which holds the weight of a star and was fine. And when we say
feel like that's
world
not as impressive
breaker,
as all
we
the
mean it.
dimensions,
While
personally.
sparring with
Speaking of Thor, the Hulk consistently battles on par with him, even when he held
Make
the
him
Odin Force,
faster!
with which
Make
he can
him
command
faster!
his power to infinite distances and match the power of
Immeasurable!
Mjolnir, who kills
Immeasurable!
the Celestials. Even without it, Mjolnir
They
can
made
cross
him
the
faster.
universe in seconds.
Thor is
tore the
immeasurable!
universe apart with just a clap. Good luck with that, Hammer Man.
In
Oh,
various
there's the
ways.
thing.
Sentry,
Yeah, like
finally!
regenerating from fatal wounds.
Defeated
Even getting
Abomination.
pushed
What a
by
feat.
Wolverine
are we
barely
getting
slows him
something
down.
from
And the angrier he gets, the more regenerating cells his body produces.
It gets weirder. Did you know that if he absorbs enough gamma, he can shoot lasers from his eyes
What?
and read
Huh?
people's
What?
minds? Oh, also,
What?
he can see
He
good
can what?
and give him a good old-fashioned Hulk smash.
Fuck off,
Hulk
Frank.
can break through the boundaries
Dr.
of
Strange.
comic book borders
Oh,
themselves.
okay.
Into
What
empty
now?
white
And
blank
Okay.
panels.
It's
Okay.
over. It's over.
Space
It's
beyond
over.
time and concept.
What, like how She-Hulk
Oh
can,
my
for some
God.
reason, break the fourth wall and tuck to
Here's
the
how
reader?
Broly can still win, by the
wait,
way.
That makes sense now.
Dr. Banner is a certified genius
He understands.
with 7
He understands the
PhDs.
equation. You could
According
say.
to Norman Osborn, he's the 4th smartest person on the
Norman?
planet.
And
What are
that's
you doing,
comparing to
Norman?
big
Fourth
brains like
smartest
Reed,
person on the
Doom, and Tony.
Banner built the Her Collider
Dr. Doom.
Synchrotron, a machine that can scan the
Damn-
entire
damn
multiverse
Norman
with the speed of a
mentioned.
hypermind.
Well,
he created
now.
the Gamma
He
Core,
won.
which could rupture space-time
Well,
between
now.
universes. He built an
he's gonna
interstellar
win,
radio
you
on a
say?
deserted
Yeah.
planet without any
basically.
pre-established technology. He wired up Hulk like a starship, piloting him from the mindscape within. He even built an ultimate nullifier. In fact, the original
built
intent
a
of
what
the Gamma
now?
Bomb was to be non-lethal,
Oh.
only targeting
Oh.
inorganic material.
But Thunderbolt Ross
We just
wanted
could've glossed
something with a
over
bit
that.
more boom.
What?
Can't blame
I
him
feel
for
like
it.
Franklin
During
Richards
operations,
moment.
Banner developed the Gamma Bomb on his own, keeping its
I feel
design
like
Oh,
that's
God.
secret.
coming.
In the process, he
It's
tapped
raps.
into an unknown form of
I
gamma
think
energy
it-
that
it's
breaks
gotta
down
be a
reality
Goliath.
and
Oh,
mutates
no.
it beyond act. Spawns from none other than the one below all.
The ruler of hell! The ruler of hell!
That's right. God has a Hulk,
Hi, God.
and it wants Bruce to bring about the end of all things. But Hulk just said, nah.
So, what is
Nah.
the Hulk? An uncontrollable monster? A prison for a tortured soul? A super weapon for Armageddon?
Don't overthink it, Wiz. Hulk is Hulk, and Hulk's the strongest.
Good reference,
one
good
there
reference, good
is.
reference.
Good reference.
Yes, he's gonna win.
Yeah. He made an ultimate nullifier.
He made an ultimate
Ultimate
nullifier.
He made an ultimate.
The
He
year
even made an
1946.
Blasé
The
was.
press gathered at Bikini
But I
Atoll to
noticed
witness
that
the
he
power
said, "Oh,
of
the Hulk can
nuclear
reach beyond the
bomb.
comic
But
panels."
many
Okay,
leagues beneath their
thanks.
feet,
Yeah.
something ancient stirred.
Godzilla.
Prophetic.
Gojira.
The bomb was just
Gojira.
the beginning. Man had
Gojira.
sparked the end of time.
It's Gojira,
Complete
you
with googly
moron.
eyes, and the most epic roar ever.
Over
Bless
the
you.
years, there have been many
Forever
iterations.
goated.
Most
Okay,
iterations.
Santa
Godzilla
Claus.
is a rare theropod that
President of
from
the
millions
United
years.
States of
Santa
America.
Claus.
That
Nuclear
doesn't
bombs
make sense,
mutated
actually.
it into a
Well, that-
gargantuan radioactive monster.
He's so casual about bullets and rockets, they
Chad,
might
is
as
that
well
Shin
be
Godzilla?
gnats. And the
Chad-
bullet is so much more than
Chad, is
just
that
half of his
Shin Godzilla?
size. He's got a
Yeah,
ton
that
of
is-
breath.
A
Yeah.
concentrated beam or
Yeah, that
spray
is,
of
in fact,
radioactive
Shin
heat
Godzilla.
with an estimated range of 1,100
I won't
miles. It
complain
can
until
exceed
they
500,000
actually,
degrees
audibly say
Celsius.
it.
How much radiation he's absorbed, or
Yummy, yummy.
life energy from a giant pterodactyl, he can do way
Yummy,
more with
yummy.
it.
His
Dude, he's
red
gonna
spiral
eat the
ray
gamma,
is a
and then Bruce Banner's gonna be
supercharged
like,
version
"Fuck
that doubles
you,
in heat
ultimate
and
beam."
power. And
Fuck you, ultimate nullifier.
Or he can
Dude, I
blast it
swear,
out of his
if
back
Bruce
and
Banner
fly.
wins.
Well, he could always do that, I guess. Look at him go. Piloted by Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune
Hatsune
Miku.
Miku.
Over their exclusive powers. Shin Godzilla can
Reality
fire rays
causality
from his tail.
manipulation. Oh, there it is.
Sure, Godzilla can fire
there it
rays
is.
from his eyes.
Don't
Pew,
do
pew.
that.
Effectively a living nuclear reactor, Shin possesses a
No.
natural phased array radar
No.
that can detect an
No.
attack threat.
That's crazy.
Godzilla Earth,
That's
who grew
actually
over
crazy.
1,000 feet tall across 2,000
Oh, there
years,
it is.
could
I
make
hate
a
this
barrier
one.
only penetrable by
This one.
kaiju that can bypass
This one I
physics.
hate.
And don't forget,
Whatever.
Big G can ball with the best of
Bypass
them.
One is
physics, you
bad,
said.
and the
He
other
got him
is
his
like
own pair of
completely separate
Nikes.
reasons.
Godzilla got busy.
It's kind of hard
Godzilla
to emphasize
got
just how
busy.
impressively terrifying Godzilla
Godzilla
can be
got
when you're
busy.
bringing up this sort of thing.
Yeah,
Oh
good,
yeah?
good.
Why don't you find a better spokesperson for Dr.
But don't you even got
Fine. Let's
fame.
talk about when his presence boiled the entire Arctic Ocean, or how he picked up and threw Violante, which weighed 200,000 tons,
Violante,
or
that
when he
was
no-sold
crazy, actually.
not one, not two, but
Yeah,
three
two-
meteors.
'Including the
200,000
Permian
tons.
period
Like,
extinction
it-
event that
God,
happened
is this
about
why
200
women
million
don't
years
want
ago.
men
Then
to
he
talk about
went
their
to
weight?
hell, fought some fucked up versions of God and Satan,
Oh,
and
no,
atomic
no.
breath that Space Godzilla so hard that he blew up the whole planet. That's scary
That's
enough
an
for
actual
you?
thing.
God, I want a Dr. Pepper.
With such awesome might, he's battled the most dangerous of foes, like King Ghidorah and Gigan.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
Godzilla vs.
yeah,
Megalon,
I-
Gigan
Gigan?
flew
I
the Hunter
agree.
Nebula to
Gigan?
Earth in 24
Why are y'all
seconds,
so-
and that nebula is 30,000 light years away.
But sadly, OG Goji got done in by the cruelest weapon ever.
The Oxygen Destroyer. Developed in secret
I'm
by
gonna make
Dr.
you cold
Serizawa,
blue.
this weapon can
Yes!
suffocate and liquefy
Go!
molecules. The ramifications of such a weapon were
Serizawa.
so
Fucking love
detrimental,
Serizawa, dude.
Serizawa took
Who
the secrets
doesn't?
of its design to his early grave.
Eh,
But
he
it's
got
crazy how,
lucky.
like,
It doesn't
aside
matter
from,
what you throw at
Serizawa, there's,
Godzilla.
like,
He never
aren't,
really
like,
dies. You
2
can
or
blow off his
3 of
head,
the
explode him from the
good,
inside, or
human
crush him
protagonists.
in a black hole. Then he'll come back.
Or evolve into an even more powerful form. Godzilla's
there it is.
always possessed heightened adaptation,
Oh,
boy.
but many iterations
oh,
of
oh,
Godzilla's
There it
instantaneous
is.
evolution summoned another Godzilla, and he rose as an undead revenant hell-bent on destroying Japan.
Okay, why Japan?
soon
Didn't
enough.
he pick on some
Singular
other
point.
country?
He stomped around the Americas
Get him
a few
pick on
times,
some other
but it just isn't
country.
the same. Godzilla is intrinsically linked
I love
with
that
Japan,
joke.
a symbol of both their devastation and resilience. A reminder of the threat of nuclear war
Yeah,
and
good
what awaits
analysis,
those who
I'd say,
peer too
personally.
deeply
Yeah.
into the unknown. But also,
hi,
Japan's in
Shikishima.
Godzilla's
Hi,
unseen
Shikishima.
territory. To him, a stomping through Osaka is just another patrol.
He's not
Boy,
always
okay,
perfect,
what?
though.
Say that
He
again,
can be
say that
super
again.
protective,
What?
defending other monsters, his own
I didn't
kid,
hear it. What
and
did you say?
sometimes even
Osaka.
people.
Wait,
See,
what's that?
there's two
Destroy-
types of
destroy-
Godzilla.
Oh my
Wait, what is
God.
that?
The monster of nature's wrath
Destroyed
and the
universes with
guardian of
singular
planet Earth.
points.
Well,
Oh,
there's a
God.
third type.
Oh,
To
no.
understand
Oh, here we
that,
go.
let's answer a question. How does Godzilla walk?
On two legs, Wiz, obviously.
But according to Square Cube law, those legs should be crushed under his own weight.
Oh, God, here we
Nerd.
go again.
A creature
Nerd.
like Godzilla cannot realistically exist. This proved to be an elusive question
Oh,
for
there we go.
decades,
That's how we're
even highlighted
transitioning
in
into
Shin
him.
Godzilla, until a
It's
new theory was
protect-
presented in the anime Singular Point. Godzilla can't exist in our reality.
Why have
What
they
if he's from a
audibly said
different
Shin
one?
Godzilla
What?
3 times?
Like he's an alien from another dimension?
Exactly.
Like they're trying to
What if all
torture me.
kaiju come from a higher plane of existence with no regard for the known laws of physics?
Hi,
This
singular
dimension enters our reality in the form of archetype, a transtemporal conceptual particle.
It's that red dust that's floating all over the place.
This archetype can enter any timeline to
again?
terraform the Earth and all of reality, so that kaiju can
I'm running out of
exist.
ah.
This theoretically explains why various Godzillas appear in so many universes. They all trace back
Sure.
to one
That's- yeah,
singular
sure, whatever.
point. Godzilla.
God.
Sporting the wide grain of a demonic Oni,
Ah.
Ultima is vicious. Just
Ah,
walking through
scary.
Tokyo started 1,000 earthquakes around Japan.
A challenge laid out by an eldritch entity from a dimension we are incapable of perceiving or comprehending.
It's kind of like how when we move an object and
But
its shadow
Hulk's gonna
changes, we
reach out.
get why that
You mean
happens.
Bruce Banner?
But to someone who
Bruce
exists
Banner.
in only a 2D plane, the shadow looks like it just randomly transformed into something totally
like how they're
different.
handling stuff.
Crazy to think
Joke
about.
aside.
Come a really long way from Big Lizard Smash Building, huh?
This shadow, this wannabe god, desires to play with and destroy every single universe.
And Godzilla is its avatar.
Through Ultima, this entity sees the universe as an interactive
There we
fiction
go.
and can
There
control
we go.
reality. Ultima himself
Double
is a
jump
singular
scare.
point, one of many gateways through which the entity can tamper with reality.
Think of it this way. If something happens that the entity doesn't like, they can just say, that thing didn't actually happen.
Bruce!
Bruce,
Bruce, get the nullifier!
Can't
Bruce!
happen in the moment of occurrence.
Bruce,
Thus,
get
the
the
entity
nullifier!
disconnects
Fast
cause and
power!
effect and nullifies events in retrospect
Oh,
without
God.
regard for time.
He's only
Now
wise
my
on
head hurts.
principle. He's gonna
Yeah,
lose
like-
the but
like
he's
start
not
to
wise
worry
on
about a
principle.
catastrophe that would end the universe in like a
God,
week's time. So
this is
wacky
why
robot
this is why
time
glad to
travel
be
Alexa,
here.
use
I can see the
supercomputer and this
breakdown
familiar-looking doohickey, your
live as it
orthogonal
happens.
analyzer, to zap all of Archetype into its final form.
Dude, they just
cutting off
explained the
entity's
entire
connection to
fucking
the
plot of
universe.
Singular
But
Point.
not
That's
killing it. Because while each Godzilla has its differences,
We're good to say they
one
understood
thing
Singular Point more
remains
than I
certain.
did.
Godzilla is immortal, and
That's a
that
joke.
makes
Watch
him
Singular Point
the
chat.
king.
They had the Hulk vs. Godzilla both times. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks like
Godzilla has reached the
due
city.
to international
So far, the
copyright law. It
evacuation
is
is...
not.
Wait, look!
Wait, still, we should run like it is, Godzilla!
Well, no, it isn't.
Hi, Mo.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
KO!
He's mad! Exactly what I said was gonna happen.
Yep.
Hard.
Not supposed to hurt.
I like this Godzilla one.
I like
It's the
KO.
Holy shit!
Time for me to take over. We don't want any
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That's
Hulk stays! The evil.
It's the brain. Well, you could have
Minor inconvenience.
honestly, probably.
Oh, that's
Rope
the
breaker already, alright.
I think that's supposed to be Green Star.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Alright.
Weird. Oh, he's bigger.
Okay.
Slowly getting bigger. I think it works here because it's Rope Breaker. So,
Yeah.
not
Ooh,
gonna
that
fight
was
you.
cool.
Oh, that I like that.
Oh, that was awesome.
Alright.
Zip rope.
Okay, that's
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, that was
like
awesome.
that.
Alright.
I really
Red
like the
spiral
music.
ray.
Yeah.
Come on, ruler of
Okay.
hell. The ruler of hell.
Okay, that battle, you're winning me. You're winning me.
Who?
Going to hell. We're absolutely going to hell.
Go to hell, please.
No?
Oh.
Oh,
Ow.
That's gore!
that's gore.
That's gore of my Goji!
Stupid lizard.
Archetype!
Oh no.
Oh, no. Squidward suicide.
Oh.
Oh, it's burning.
Oh shit!
Dead!
Oh,
KO! Again.
why is it not green? Okay. Hold on.
Bruce, who farted?
I think I understand.
He's
Oh my god. Yeah, but Goji lost.
And there he is.
That's the big fucker.
That's the good shot. Oh, okay. What was that? Huh?
It's been days since the battle began, and the red dust
I
has
guess
it's for days.
Wait, what?
grown in size. But we believe we are.
Oh, from the jump scare.
How does it work? Well,
Is that the
smash.
Wait, this is awesome!
A million,
Doofus?
trillion to
Doofus
one and
gameplay?
rising. That's the odds. Chance to nullify
battle
the
you did
madness behind the monster.
Yeah?
2 + 2 is 5. A right angle is 80
Shout out
degrees.
to Goliath.
This element is beyond what we can perceive. Like gamma. 1,000 times.
Okay, this is.
Yeah?
A million.
Okay!
Trillion. I just need one.
Can you do it?
Yep.
Oh!
Oh.
He got there!
He did it.
Wait.
Okay.
You did it!
I think you got him.
Hell yeah.
You did
I
it,
think
big
I think
guy.
you got him.
We did it.
Okay, run this by me. What happened?
It's
Complicated, so
Got-
let's break
yeah.
this down into 3 categories.
Oh.
First up,
That was
Okay.
beautiful.
most
Good job,
versions of
Death Metal.
Godzilla can
made it
shrug
work.
off black holes and extinction level
Yeah.
events, tag beyond light speed foes like Gigan, blow up planets. However,
Elseworld.
the Hulk is
Elseworld.
beyond
I-
that.
I
The
definitely
big
wanna
guy
read
clapped
that.
a universe to
Yeah,
bits
same. I
and
wanna
showed
be
the
able to
infinite
actually hear
dimensions
dialogue.
linked to the
But-
crossroads in a
do
straight
agree.
fight
That-
with
that-
a
that-
classic
that-
Godzilla.
that-
616 Hulk
Godzilla, and they
smashes
managed
the
to make it
power
work in
advantage.
4
But
minutes.
factoring in
I win
Ultima
here.
changes things. The entity sees
Yeah.
all of space-time.
Could not stay dead.
Unless they could somehow prevent what was happening in those other dimensions.
Okay.
So let's examine the layers of their multiverses.
Oh,
Marvel's
oh.
Cosmos has
Layers!
infinite higher dimensions, which
Layers!
themselves are transcended by
Infinite
the
layers
astral
of
plane, the
infinite what?
superflow, and so on.
It's not
until
even the
you reach
right
the house
series,
of
bro.
ideas, the domain
got-
of the
we
world
got
of
it.
all.
Holy
The one
shit!
below all mirrors the one above all. The below
Holy
place mirrors
shit!
the House of Ideas. Get it?
In
Imagine if
comparison,
this was your
the
first Death
cosmos
Battle
of
episode.
Godzilla's multiverse is just as vast and infinite,
I-
but
God, I-
does not
God,
have
I
the
hope
same sort
not.
of transcending layers above and below.
I
This
can't
means
believe
the
they did
below
not have
place,
to do
the
all
Hulk's
that.
respawn point and source of power, is out of the entity's reach.
So the real question is, if they both
like
can't
that.
die and Ultima's entity can't affect the below place, could Hulk somehow stop the
Another
entity
word.
before it destroyed the universe?
It all comes down to Gamma and Archetype. Ultima was defeated in the anime by using a trans-temporal superdimension calculator operating at infinite speeds to activate the orthogonal diagonalizer, turning
It's a
Archetype
bunch of words
against
I
itself.
understand.
Ultima endlessly spews this stuff, so there's
Listen,
plenty
it's
to
not
work with. And
I'll
Hulk can
explain
reach
to you
into
later.
comic book gutter space,
Yeah.
so he should be able to reach through a singular
Oh my
point.
God,
But that's not enough.
Fortunately for
The
Hulk,
WinCon
it
is the
just
comic
so happens
panel.
he knows someone who,
Hey,
like
hey,
scientists who
okay,
have
but
defeated
you say-
Godzilla in
you
the
say that,
past,
but they
is an
just said
expert
that's
on
not
particles
enough.
from a greater dimension that mutate reality beyond our understanding.
Who made a device with those particles that breaks space-time?
Oh my God,
like the
Bruce is the
diagonalizer?
WinCon!
Who made a supercomputer
He has
that
always
scanned
been
the
the
infinite
WinCon!
multiverse with the speed of a hypermind, like the dimension calculator. Hell, the guy made an interstellar radio out of sticks and
God.
stones in a matter of days, and even built an ultimate
I'm so
nullifier.
glad Bruce Banner
It's
won.
like he
I-
was made for this.
The Green Door waits
It's
for
like
no
he
Hulk,
was made for
including
this.
Banner. Even if Ultima's catastrophe destroyed the universe, the Door
Good
could
job.
deposit Banner in a
Good job,
different
Banner.
universe, and he could continue the fight.
He had all the time in the infinite multiverse.
There was only one way this could end, and only one person who could make it so.
Okay, this
Even
is
among
good.
gods
What is
and
he next time?
monsters, man was the ultimate
Mods.
weapon.
The winner
Throw
Okay,
in
we
the
say the
reverse
winners.
mod.
Oh my
Time
god,
on
they did it.
Death Battle.
Yeah, the reverse come on.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who could have seen this coming, guys?
To the shocker of
Yeah.
no one.
Yeah.
Surprise of Bruce Banner.
Subscribe
Yes,
and
who
join
wins
as a
that
member
week?
to see more Death Battle.
That please
Thanks
go
for
to the
watching.
face.
Okay, so who wants to go first just to give their thoughts?
I'll take it.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think the fight itself is taken in a really nice direction. It does make the most out of the Colossus type dynamic, and I really like the fact that they fight for days, according to the reporter. I guess that's really nice. But I don't like the segment of Hulk punching through the door all the time. That really just feels. I don't want to say pandering, but it does feel like pandering to Hulk.
I was gonna say.
I mean, there is
Uh,
no other way to do that scene because the implication is Hulk trying a million times and reviving every time. You
Like,
need
I-
to have the door scene
my
there to
thoughts on
represent
that.
that.
I think
one at
you
a
can
time,
just
sorry, one
have
at a time,
Hulk.
guys.
I think you can just have Hulk punch through the fucking I forgot the name. I'm stupid. The archetype, and that would have been fine.
That's not how it works, but I get it.
Right.
What are you gonna say, Loka, about this topic?
Yeah. My issue with the dynamic is that it's understandable that you kind of have to present Godzilla as the villain. However, then when Ultima comes in, he becomes more of like, here's the obstacle, and here's how we see Hulk beat it, just over and
Yeah,
over
that's
again
true.
until he finally lands the killing blow.
Mhm.
So I agree that the montage. I don't know if pandering is the word I would use, but I feel like it's definitely built towards, okay, look how Hulk gets around this problem and wins. Because like once Ultima appears, you kind of know, okay, so there's no way he wins now, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know how you would do that otherwise, because it's Godzilla.
Like, I don't know how would you have Ultima in a fight against Hulk without that being the dynamic.
Yeah,
because
that's the
Ultima is
issue.
not a character. Ultima has no personality. Ultima doesn't do anything. Ultima is just a big obstacle. That's what Ultima
Yeah,
is
Ultima
in
is like-
Singular Point. So
Yeah,
technically, it's perfect
Ultima is the-
characterization.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Ultima is probably like the single most force of nature incarnation of Godzilla. Like no
Yeah.
character, just destroy.
I think the only way to really deal with that issue is having Godzilla have more character moments before Ultima, which I do think the fight could have done a little better. But I think Ultima's not a character. Ultima doesn't have a personality. Ultima isn't anything. Ultima's just a big guy.
Yeah, anything else you want to say, Loka?
No. Well, not on that topic at least.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Chris, you want to go?
Sure. Hulk versus Godzilla is a matchup I really like conceptually. But the reason why I didn't like it for Death Battle was because I thought the dynamic would just be that first half. The first half of the fight is very basic by the books, Hulk versus Godzilla. It has like every single power interaction you could possibly imagine for Hulk versus Godzilla, and it's not very interesting. They do cool things. I like Hulk thunderclapping into the meteor. I think that's really cool. I like how they managed to visualize the gore with Godzilla. They really managed to fuck that model up. That was really cool. But nothing very doesn't interest me. The second half of the fight is every single thing I could have ever dreamed of for a Hulk versus Godzilla story, and yeah, I don't have a lot of complaints. That's everything I could have possibly wanted. It's the only way to make this work in a 2-minute animation. Like, not even 4 minutes, because it's the second half of the fight. Like, I think they make it work. I think it tells a story that is what I wanted to see out of this matchup, and it makes me happy. And I like Bruce.
Yeah. Anyway,
Go on,
so
Ozzy.
if I can say my piece, yeah, Hulk's been on the show 3 times. This is the first fight that actually uses Banner, actually like acknowledges. Oh yeah, Hulk has another guy in his head, and that guy is a super genius. So what advantages does that super genius give Hulk? So I think I think that kill, instead of like just Hulk destroying the archetype with his raw strength, and it's instead Hulk using a device made by Banner to deal with the archetype. Yeah, I think that's wonderful, because I feel like both of them were given the spotlight. Yeah, because the first half was dedicated to Hulk, and the second was dedicated to Banner. Yeah, and like this was one of my most wanted matchups, because and God, yeah, I just really enjoy this. I understand the problems with it, but I'm very satisfied.
All right, good to hear. All right, I guess I might as well give my opinion as well then. So, I said at the start of the video, and I haven't exactly been shy about saying it. My biggest issue with Hulk vs. Godzilla as an idea was that, simply put, I just didn't see a way that you can make it balanced for Godzilla, because he was fighting someone so much smaller than him, and his fighting style just really doesn't benefit from that kind of height difference. Do I think the fight changed my mind on that? Not really, if I'm being honest. I think that is my biggest issue personally, is that even on rewatch, I counted one hit Godzilla got in that actually fucked Hulk up. And if I were to just divorce my opinion of it from that, if what you're after here is purely the Hulk, then I think this is the best. I think this is the best handled he's ever been on the show. Like you guys said, them incorporating Bruce and the combination of brawn and brain. Yeah, it's perfect. But I think it leaves a lot to be desired for me for Godzilla. Because I know you brought up that like Ultima is in Singular Point purely an obstacle, not really a character. And to an extent that does apply to just Godzilla in general, and I still like seeing Godzilla fuck things up, and it didn't really feel like he got to do enough of that. It felt like Hulk was just kind of beating his piss in the entire time. I still think that, like... Yeah, sorry?
No, go ahead.
I still think that, like, if I were to put that aside and just look purely at the production, I think it's very good. I like the cinematography a lot, and I think the presentation of, like, they've been fighting for literal days, the news report and all that, that's all great. I just think that for what I'd want in a Godzilla matchup, it kinda left me a bit wanting. Do we have any thoughts on the analyses while we're at it?
Okay,
I know
now
we've
Oh
been
yeah.
talking through a lot
I
of
have,
them,
I
I
but
also
we
wanted
might
to
as
have
well.
some things.
Yeah.
No, wait, hold on. I have more thoughts on the fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think that I don't get it, kind of. Like, the setup is obviously Godzilla is evil and Hulk's there to stop him. Then he kills him. Then Ultima appears, and then Hulk kills him again. Like, what? I agree with Pitt. What does Godzilla do in this fight?
Hmm.
Though, however, I really like the Hulk stuff. I like that, like, he starts as Savage Hulk, and then he appears to turn Green Scar because he says, like, I stand alone. And then at the end, it seems like he's Devil Hulk because he's working with Bruce. That's really cool. Well, in Hulk versus Doomsday, he was just Savage, and then versus Broly, he was supposed to be Devil Hulk, but they wrote him as Savage anyways. So I appreciate that we got to see all, like, the Hulk's main three personalities, I'd say, as well as Bruce. But that kind of dumps it down even further that Hulk gets that luxury while Godzilla gets nothing. And I think that's, and people don't like this complaint, but I think that's the problem with compositing Godzilla for a fight. Because what personality do you go with for him? It just ends with him getting nothing.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
Hmm.
Like,
I think
Hmm.
the issue I'd say is that I think they wanted to go into vibe of specifically movies like 54, and -1 and Singular Point, where Godzilla is not a character. He's just a
No, where
big guy.
Godzilla is the monster, not the character.
Yeah,
Then-
Godzilla is a
then-
monster. Godzilla is the thing that the good guys need to stop. But that doesn't work for something like Death Battle, because in Death Battle, you ideally you try to portray both characters with to the best of your ability. Like, but the parts of Godzilla's history that have a personality, that have a character, they just weren't here. There was no Showa-isms. I haven't watched a lot of Heisei, but I doubt there was a lot of Heisei-isms here. Shin, there was no way Shin was going to be represented well in the animation. And yeah, I think that's just something that is a struggle with this kind of scenario. Like, how do you present Godzilla as a character in Godzilla versus humans situation? He's
Yeah.
usually not. He's usually just an obstacle in that kind of movie.
Yeah, and I get it to an
I think that's-
extent because, like, sorry, I get it to an extent because that kind of is the vibe that does match Hulk best, is just the Godzilla that is a walking disaster, because, I mean, that's exactly what Hulk is, born from the thing that destroys everything, and he's a giant brute. But, yeah, that does also mean that Godzilla in this fight he kind of just feels like, I don't want to say the antagonist, because I feel like there are episodes where even the antagonist of the fight still feels like equally represented, but yeah, he just does feel like the obstacle for Bruce to overcome.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
Yeah, completely fair. Like,
Mhm.
it's weird because, like, if I was writing Hulk versus Godzilla, because I like writing crossfix, this is exactly how I would portray it. But that's not the pace I would want for Godzilla in Death Battle, because, like, you would want the character to be here, not just the obstacle. So I think they just couldn't nail it. They couldn't nail that, and it's very unfortunate. I still like it, but, like, this is like the biggest complaint that I can imagine people having, and it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
It's a good fight,
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
but nothing
yeah,
else.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like that'll always be the problem with Death Battle's format. There's two certain matchups. Don't have enough time to be given what they're needed.
Mhm. I think we should
I'm
still
not
make it clear,
asking
like,
them to drag. I'm not asking them to drag the fight out for 8 minutes, just so we can get like the tragedy of Godzilla represented well
yeah,
in the fight.
Yeah.
But I
I want
just
Godzilla
think
to use
that
the fucking dropkick. I want some Showa-isms in there.
yeah,
Now
Remember
this
the
gave
Godzilla
me a
let him do something. Like he
now
Yeah.
this
doesn't
gave
get to
me
do anything.
this gives me a thought. Now I'm just imagining like the montage of Hulk punching through the door, but instead of it being that, it's just scenes of Godzilla's tragedy, or even Hulk's
That
tragedy,
would have
just an
been
equal
great.
thing.
I think the montage would have worked better if, like, okay, but I will say, budget, big issue. But hear me out. They're supposed to represent the fight continuously going on, and Hulk constantly dying while trying to find a way to deal with the archetype. Make it not just be Ultima. Have a scene where he's fighting Showa-Zilla, and Showa-Zilla's doing his funny little dance before Hulk punches him. Have Heisei show up. Have
The scene
different
they play
avatars
in
based on these different parts of the history. That would be cool.
Have
they say in the
Fortnite-Zilla.
conclusion that the entity can always put a new Godzilla in there. Why would it always be the same Ultima Godzilla?
Yeah, it's not.
It gets
Hulk
even worse
destroys
because we
Ultima, and then
never
Ultima.
we never see either of them actually kill each other on the screen after like the incineration. We see the green door, and then Hulk punching him.
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
yeah.
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 I think we should still make it clear, like, at the very least, just from what I'm gathering from this, that I think we all still agree it's still a good episode, like, just overall. There are problems that are
I
fairly
think
noticeable.
It's a good fight.
Criticism is actually pretty healthy, I would say.
Yeah, because toxic positivity is just as bad as toxic negativity.
It's a good fight. It's well animated. It is really it is really fucking cool, right?
They said Bruce Banner.
The winner is Bruce Banner.
And again,
Also,
I think
analysis,
everything with Hulk
right?
is handled expertly.
The rewatch. I think the analysis I need a rewatch, but I will say, from what I could hear over our stupid bullshit screams, I really enjoy how they presented everything. I really enjoyed the pacing. I think it's really well done. And the verdict is just. I don't think you can handle the verdict for this matchup any better.
Yeah.
I think it's just really good.
I love that it comes down to Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of the two forces of nature. The human factor is what gives Hulk the win.
Ross, I said I would give them shit if Shin Godzilla was name dropped. They name dropped him 3 times. I feel like this is like a curse.
I think Ben Singer himself heard you say that and decided to punish you.
He heard through the green door.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
He just popped into Loka's room. I'm just like the fucking Kool-Aid man. Like, did somebody say Shin Godzilla?
Hey, kid! I heard you like Shin Godzilla. Oh well, yeah, I do. We're gonna show you Shin Godzilla.
Did you know that SMD stands for Shin Godzilla, my daint?
But yeah, good episode. Has flaws, but I think
it's a good episode.
It's a good episode. I don't know where I would put it in my tier list, but like I think it's an 8 out of 10. I need to rewatch the analysis, but I think they're really good. I think the writing is very good. It's just the direction of the fight. I think.
It's really the fight that has the issues. The analyses are just kind of spot on.
Yeah.
At least Hulk. Godzilla's has a few, whatever.
I definitely feel like this is one I'm gonna come back to and just turn off my brain and enjoy the fight because it's a good fight. It's cool, but like every time I'm gonna think about it, but beyond that, I'm like,
I do.
Because
there was a couple.
even like
sorry.
if so even if like I'm the most positive towards the well, at least seemingly most positive towards the episode in this reaction, the fight I would agree that the fight is the weakest part, but that just goes to show how good the analyses are. If we still all think the fight is at least decent.
There was a couple of things that I did kind of roll my eyes at during Godzilla specifically, but I am glad that like they at least got like the point of Godzilla down, just how the entire message of Godzilla as a franchise is a commentary on Japanese culture and ingenuity.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Death Bell. This is not your fault, but I can't work with a composite Godzilla analysis.
They tried.
That-
I appreciate
by God,
them trying.
they tried.
I appreciate it, and I know, against Hulk, you have to, right?
Yeah.
So,
I made my peace with that. I don't like it, but I'll live.
to all
makes
the
sense to think of
researchers that they got for this episode that had to go through over a century's worth of material, bravo to you. Could not have been easy.
Research-wise, I think from everything I hear, because obviously I haven't researched the character. I'm sane personally, but you can tell how far they dug, how far they were willing to go. The fact that one of the main points for Bruce winning was a fucking random what if Planet Hulk story. They were actually trying here, and I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got also God, I just want to comment on it. God, shout outs to everyone both on the official and the guest research team. Seriously, together it's a combined 130 years combined for both of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so props to you.
Bravo.
Even if I'll need a rewatch to see if I have any disagreements with it, but still appreciate all the effort that was put into the episode.
Yeah. All right.
Good talk, everyone.
I'm guessing there's nothing else of note that we really want to bring up.
I guess we can talk on Ruby versus Maka.
Do we want to talk about the next
How
time?
will this video affect Ruby versus Maka?
If this video gets
to-
400 views in 2 minutes, Pete will do a
Ozzy, could you please
prediction video.
please talk?
Okay, I just want to say before we move on to Ruby versus Maka, so one of the guest researchers was Nemesis Bloodreichs. If you haven't already, please watch the Not Death Battle for Dr. Manhattan versus Richard Nixon on his channel.
Dude, we are not sponsored by Nemesis Bloodreich, by the way.
You're plugging his stuff on the channel?
No,
We're not
you're
sponsored
getting
by
your
Nemesis
channel
Bloodreich.
plugged.
I
No,
did
but you know
not
who we
tell
are?
anyone in this chat to do this.
But we are sponsored by World of Tanks. World of Tanks is a free roam war.
Okay, so that's enough of the video, right? That's enough of the video, right?
Hi, guys.
This video is still sponsored by World of Tanks.
Okay. I've said my piece. I've done my shilling for something I like. Okay. So, chat, what are your thoughts on Ruby versus?
Write down your thoughts on Ruby versus Maka in the comments below, because I don't feel like talking about it right now.
Thank
Dude,
God it's gonna be just 3 weeks.
Dude, it's weird why they use Ruby and Maka models for Doomsday and 682. It's crazy.
It's weird how they're doing Ruby versus Maka instead of Ruby versus Vegeta. What's up with that?
Editor, put inside joke on the upright corner. Though it's crazy why they went for 3D animation instead of live action. Come on, Ismahawk, what's happened?
We've been yapping for 20 minutes.
That's what we do.
And we could yap for 20 minutes
You chose
more.
us specifically for this. I feel like you should have been prepared.
Fair enough. Well, I'm gonna cut it here. So I'm gonna cut it here. So thank you guys for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us,
Thank you for having me.
All right. Until next time.